before humanity understood the secrets of the largest rainforest on the planet, before science revealed how life survives amid constant danger, there already existed a world where adaptation was the only alternative to extinction. In the wild lands of Brazil, amid the vast Amazon, endless rivers, and impenetrable forests, every creature must change, hide, or fight to survive among invisible predators. Welcome to Wild Brazil, adapt or disappear in the most dangerous jungle on Earth. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to keep creating high-quality content. Do not forget to leave a comment below telling us what you thought of the video and where you are watching from, so we can connect and discuss it together. Let's begin. If there is a place that symbolizes the beating heart of Brazil, it is the Amazon. It is a biological machine where millions of life forms have evolved over generations. Here, time moves at a different pace, marked by rains and the rising of rivers. It is a cycle of nature that still completely dominates the landscape. With more than 5.5 million square kilometers, the Amazon is the largest tropical rainforest on the planet. Its territory is shared among 9 South American countries. Nearly 60% of this immense jungle is located within Brazil. If it were an independent country, it would be among the 10 largest in the world. The Amazon houses approximately 10% of all species known to science. Researchers estimate that more than 40,000 species of plants live here. Around 1,300 species of birds and more than 430 species of mammals inhabit the jungle. Every year, new species continue to be discovered that had never been recorded before. Giant trees form a natural cathedral of colossal dimensions. Some specimens emerge more than 60 meters above the ground and live for centuries. Their canopies create a green roof so dense that sunlight barely reaches the ground. Beneath this canopy live jaguars, tapirs, monkeys, and sloths. Harpy eagles, anacondas, and poison dart frogs occupy different levels of this vertical city. Rivers are the arteries that keep this ecosystem alive. The Amazon River, the most voluminous in the world, transports 20% of all the fresh water reaching the oceans. Its drainage basin feeds a fluvial network with more than 1,100 tributaries. During the rainy season, enormous stretches of forest become completely flooded. In some regions, the water level can rise more than 10 meters. This transformation forces countless species to adapt to a temporarily aquatic world. Every corner of the Amazon hides a new biological secret. A single hectare of forest can contain more tree species than entire countries. Right in the middle of this green immensity, an unexpected city arises, Manaus. This metropolis of more than 2 million inhabitants stands on the banks of the Rio Negro. It is an urban island in the heart of wild nature. The history of Manaus is deeply linked to the rubber boom. In the late 19th century, the global demand for latex turned it into an economic center. The most famous symbol of that era is the Amazon Theatre. Opened in 1896, it was built with luxury materials imported from Europe. Its multicolored dome recalls a time when opera echoed in the jungle. Today, Manaus continues to be the main gateway to the Amazon. It is a natural laboratory where life has reached incredible levels of diversity. Each tree and each creature plays an essential role in the balance of the planet. But the greatest spectacle of this region does not occur on stage, but in nature. One of the most impressive natural phenomena in Brazil happens right here, the famous meeting of waters. The Rio Negro, with its dark and deep waters, and the Solimões River, with its brown waters laden with sediment, travel for several kilometers side by side without mixing. This visual spectacle is produced by the difference in temperature, speed, acidity, and density between the two rivers. The Rio Negro is usually warmer, slower, and more acidic, while the Solimões flows with greater force. For a stretch of approximately 6 kilometers, both bodies of water keep their colors separate, as if an invisible border divided two liquid worlds. Here, the great Amazon River is officially born, considered the most voluminous river on the planet. Its fluvial system discharges a massive amount of fresh water into the Atlantic Ocean and sustains one of the largest life networks known on Earth. The Amazon is a living kingdom, a sanctuary where nature manifests in its most exuberant form. This immense region houses millions of species of plants, insects, birds, fish, reptiles, and mammals. It is estimated that more than 2,000 species of fish and more than 1,300 species of birds live in the Amazon basin. Every leaf, every branch, and every river can hide extraordinary creatures. From the jaguar patrolling the banks to the pink dolphin emerging among the murky waters, the Amazon functions as an immense life network. In this territory, nothing exists in isolation. The rivers feed the forest protects the rivers, and every creature fulfills a function within a delicate balance. It is a gateway to one of the most complex and vital ecosystems on the planet. At the top of this grand life network walks a predator that few dare to challenge, the jaguar, or Onça pintada. Majestic and relentless, It is the largest feline in the Americas and the third largest in the world. An adult male can exceed 100 kilograms, and some specimens in the Pantanal exceed 140 kilograms. Its compact and muscular body is designed for the perfect ambush. The jaguar moves in silence, hides among the vegetation, and waits for the exact moment to attack. Its golden fur with black rosettes makes it an almost invisible shadow in the jungle. It possesses one of the most powerful bites among all felines, with a force of 1,500 pounds per square inch. This pressure allows it to pierce skulls, turtle shells, and the tough skin of caimans. While other felines attack the neck, the jaguar bites the head directly with devastating precision. It not only dominates the land, but crosses rivers with ease and climbs trees to protect its prey. In the rivers and flooded forests lives another giant that rules the waters, the pirarucu. This colossal fish can exceed 3 meters in length and reach more than 200 kilograms in weight. Its elongated body, covered in large scales, looks like living armor. Under the sun, its reflections shine like ancient metal. But the most surprising thing is its way of breathing. Unlike many fish, the pirarucu needs to regularly come to the surface to take in air. This adaptation allows it to survive in oxygen-poor environments, such as isolated lakes. In those same waters also dwells the Amazonian manatee, a peaceful giant that glides like a soft shadow. It can reach 3 meters and weigh up to 500 kilograms, being the largest freshwater mammal in the region. Unlike the jaguar or the pirarucu, the manatee survives through calm and a diet entirely based on aquatic plants. Each day, it consumes large amounts of vegetation, helping to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. Together, the jaguar, the pirarucu, and the manatee show 3 different faces of the Amazon. They represent the strength of the predator, the greatness of the rivers, and the delicacy hidden in wild nature. But not every threat in the jungle comes from the ground. Some hide beneath the dark water, silent and deadly. That is the anaconda, or sucuri, the queen of the rivers who glides like a ghost with ever-watchful eyes. With more than 4 meters in length, it does not need venom to hunt. Its immense muscular strength makes it an unbeatable predator, capable of dominating prey much larger than its own body. While predators lurk in the water, in the highest branches of the trees, the echoes of the howler monkey resonate. Its deep and powerful call rumbles through the jungle at dawn, a natural roar that can be heard from kilometers away. Just below, vibrant scarlet macaws fly over the tree canopy in inseparable pairs. Meanwhile, toucans with their exuberant beaks hop between branches in search of the jungle's sweetest fruits. The Amazon houses one of the planet's greatest treasures, the largest freshwater reserve in the world. Beneath its soil lies the Alto do Chão aquifer, an underground reservoir capable of supplying humanity for centuries. Its grandiosity is also revealed on the surface, where the Amazon River pours about 209,000 cubic meters per second into the ocean. This colossal amount exceeds the combined flow of the Nile, Ganges, and Mississippi rivers. In addition to its water wealth, the Amazon keeps an incalculable mineral heritage under its lands. Its depths contain about 11% of the world's gold reserves, in addition to vast deposits of iron and manganese. Elements such as bauxite and niobium, essential for global industry, are also found here. It is a land of abundance that sustains the planet's balance and whose value goes far beyond what eyes can see. While jaguars patrol the banks and monkeys move through the canopies, another predator remains hidden in the shadows of the forest floor. It has no giant fangs or great speed, but its mere appearance awakens deep fear. It is the Goliath bird-eater spider, known scientifically as Theraphosa blondi, the heaviest spider in the world. It inhabits the humid jungles of northern South America, especially in regions of Brazil and Venezuela. There it spends most of its life hidden in burrows excavated under roots or fallen logs. Its size seems taken from a fantasy movie, comparable to the size of a dinner plate. An adult female can reach a leg span of 30 centimeters and exceed 170 grams in weight. Despite its name, birds rarely form part of its usual diet. The term bird-eater arose centuries ago when an explorer observed a tarantula feeding on a small bird. In reality, its prey consists of large insects, beetles, centipedes, and frogs. It can also feed on small lizards, young snakes, and even rodents. It is an opportunistic hunter that takes advantage of any animal it can dominate with its strength. Unlike other spiders, the Goliath is an ambush hunter that does not rely on webs. Its 8 legs are covered by thousands of extremely sensitive hairs capable of detecting vibrations. When the distance from its prey is minimal, the attack occurs in a fraction of a second. The Goliath launches with surprising speed, and its chelicerae, fangs, can exceed 2 centimeters in length. The prey is caught instantly, while the venom begins to immobilize it. Minutes later, the predator completes its hunt and the jungle returns to silence. Despite its intimidating appearance, its venom does not represent a serious threat to human beings. However, it possesses an extraordinary defensive mechanism based on urticating hairs. When it feels threatened, it rubs its hind legs against its abdomen to release thousands of these microscopic hairs. These structures float in the air and cause intense irritation to the skin and eyes of predators. Another notable feature is its longevity, especially in females who can exceed 20 years. Males, by contrast, usually live only between 3 and 6 years. The Goliath plays an important role within the ecosystem by controlling populations of insects and small vertebrates. In turn, it is part of the diet of Cotis, snakes, and some birds of prey. Its existence proves that the Amazon still guards hidden giants that have remained there for millions of years. It is a biological wonder that challenges our imagination in every corner of the forest. The Amazon does not belong to a single owner. It is a universe shared by millions of life forms, where each species fulfills an essential function within one of the most complex ecosystems on the planet. It is estimated that this immense jungle houses about 10% of all known biodiversity on Earth. It is a life network so vast that scientists still continue to discover new species every year. As the sun begins to descend and the shadows lengthen, the jungle continues to vibrate with activity. On the damp ground, a silent survivor moves slowly, the jabuti, the Amazonian land tortoise. Its sturdy shell and extraordinary longevity have allowed it to survive for decades in a challenging environment. Nearby, hidden among roots, one of the most important engineers of the jungle works, the giant armadillo. Known as the tattoo canastra, this animal can exceed 1.5 meters in length and 50 kilograms in weight. Its powerful claws allow it to excavate deep burrows that serve as refuge for dozens of other species. But Amazonian life is not limited to dry land. The boto cor-de-rosa, also known as the Amazon river dolphin or pink river dolphin, inhabits the great rivers of the Amazon. For centuries, this famous pink dolphin has been regarded by riverside communities as an almost legendary figure. During the flood season, it demonstrates extraordinary skill moving through submerged trees. Its flexible neck, uncommon among dolphins, allows it to maneuver with precision among branches and roots. Sharing these rivers lives another extraordinary hunter, the giant otter, capable of exceeding 1.7 meters. This mammal forms highly organized family groups that cooperate to hunt fish. Agile, fast, and highly intelligent, the giant otter constantly emerges from the swirling waters with captured prey. On land, the giant anteater, or Tamandua bandera, plays an indispensable role in maintaining ecological balance. Its tongue of nearly 60 centimeters allows it to capture thousands of ants and termites each day. It thus contributes to the natural control of insects that, without predators, could alter the balance of the ecosystem. Together, these animals represent different survival strategies developed over millions of years. Some depend on strength, others on patience, speed, or intelligence within a great cathedral. If the Amazon is the green heart of the planet, the Pantanal is its liquid soul. It is an immense plain where water decides the rhythm of life and nature changes its face with each season. This wetland stretches over more than 170,000 square kilometers in Brazil, covering the states of Mato Grosso and Mato Grosso do Sul. During the rainy season, the waters transform the fields into a brilliant labyrinth of rivers and canals. When the drought arrives, the landscape opens up again, and animals gather around the last water sources. This alternation makes the Pantanal one of the richest and most visible ecosystems in South America. It is estimated to house more than 650 species of birds and nearly 120 species of mammals. Unlike the dense jungle, here life shows itself with impressive clarity before the world's eyes. Among its most numerous inhabitants, the caimans stand out. Known in Brazil as jaguars, the Pantanal gathers one of the largest concentrations of these reptiles on the entire planet. Millions of caimans glide through shallow waters or remain motionless under the sun. With bodies reaching 3 meters, these predators are perfectly adapted to the extremes of the wetland. In times of plenty, they hunt fish and birds, while in times of drought, they can resist long periods with little food. Their patience and sudden attack make them silent symbols of this kingdom ruled by water. But the Pantanal is not just a paradise for wildlife. Nearby is one of Brazil's most impressive destinations, Bonito. It is a place where the water does not hide secrets. On the contrary, it reveals a submerged world like few others on the planet. Its rivers are famous for an almost unreal transparency, the result of the high concentration of limestone in the soil. This acts as a natural filter and removes most impurities before the water enters the flow. In some spots, visibility can exceed 30 meters, allowing one to clearly observe every rock and aquatic plant. Diving in rivers like the Sucuri, Prata, or Formoso is like entering an immense natural aquarium. Dourados, Piraputangas, and Curimbatas glide silently around the visitor. Sunlight pierces the crystalline water and creates reflections that turn the underwater landscape into a magical scene. The region of Bonito is part of an extraordinary natural system where rivers, waterfalls, tunneaux, and caverns connect. This geological balance is what allows the water to stay so clean and transparent. Its most fascinating secrets are hidden in the depths of its caverns. The Gruta do Lago Azul is one of the most impressive, with a deep blue tone that changes according to the light. The underground lake reaches about 90 meters in depth and is where fossils of prehistoric animals have been found. These include traces of giant sloths and saber-toothed tigers that once lived here. In the silence of this cavern, nature seems to have stopped time. Bonito is a window into an ancient, delicate, and deeply surprising world. Brazil is a country of extraordinary contrasts. After traveling through the Amazon, our journey now leads us to a completely different landscape. Welcome to the Chapada dos Veadeiros and the Cerrado, one of the most fascinating ecosystems in South America. It is a territory where trees appear twisted by the wind and fire. At first glance, this landscape can seem dry and even hostile during much of the year. However, beneath the surface lies one of Brazil's most important natural treasures. The Cerrado is considered by many scientists as the true cradle of the waters of the country. With nearly 2 million square kilometers, it occupies approximately a quarter of Brazilian territory. It is the tropical savanna with the highest biodiversity on the planet and houses more than 12,000 species of plants. About half of these species do not exist anywhere else on Earth. The roots of many of its plants can penetrate more than 10 meters deep in search of water. They function as authentic natural pumps, favoring the infiltration of rainwater into underground aquifers. Thanks to this mechanism, the Cerrado feeds some of the most important river basins in South America. Rivers that travel thousands of kilometers before reaching the ocean are born here. It is estimated that 70% of the fresh water of Brazil's main basins has a connection with the Cerrado. Without this biome, the Pantanal and the Amazon would lose part of their vital hydrological connections. The Cerrado also houses more than 850 species of birds and 250 species of mammals. Here live the maned wolf, the giant anteater, the pampas deer, and the powerful jaguar. It is an ecosystem built on resilience, where many plants sprout again after natural fires. Within this landscape is the Chapada dos Veadeiros, a plateau of remote geological origins. Its rock formations are more than 1.2 billion years old, being much older than the dinosaurs. The mountains and waterfalls observed today are the result of processes that began eons ago. None of its landscapes is as surprising as the famous Valle da Lua, Valley of the Moon. Its light-colored rocks feature undulating shapes and sculpted cavities reminiscent of another world. For thousands of years, the waters of the São Miguel River slowly eroded the crystalline quartz. The minerals reflect silver and gold glints, increasing the feeling of an alien landscape. The Chapada dos Veadeiros reminds us that the most powerful forces are not always the fastest. Some work in silence for centuries, shaping the world drop by drop until they create extraordinary scenarios. But the true jewel of the Chapada is in the heights, or rather, in the falling waters. Chapada dos Veadeiros is a cathedral of water, a kingdom sculpted by time where rivers meander through ancient rock blocks. Its waterfalls impress not only for their beauty, but also for their grandeur. Some reach more than 100 meters in height. They form veils of water that vanish into the Cerrado horizon, offering a majestic sight. Others fall with massive force, sculpting deep canyons and natural pools of enchanting blue color. This unique landscape originated thousands of years ago, when the movement of the Earth's crust formed one of the oldest terrains on the planet. The quartz rocks that dominate the region make the Chapada a true geological reliquary. They reflect the sunlight and create a nearly mystical glow over the vegetation at sunset. In addition to the visual spectacle, these waters are a source of life, feeding rivers that sustain impressive biodiversity. Here the Cerrado reveals its strength and delicacy simultaneously among massive stone walls. Between immense walls sculpted by erosion, the water continues its patient work, creating havens of peace forgotten by time. The Cerrado houses a unique fauna, such as the maned wolf silently moving through the golden landscape. With its long legs made for walking over high vegetation, the maned wolf is a ghost of the night. It is a discreet predator that is rarely seen by the human eye in the wild. Many believe that this region is located over one of the largest quartz plates in the world, radiating a special energy. This makes the Chapada a destination for those seeking spiritual connection and balance. Every river that runs and every creature that dwells here is part of a perfect balance. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment to continue this journey of discovering these wonders with us. In the heart of the Brazilian Northeast lies one of the most fascinating states in the country, Maranhão. It is a place where contrasting landscapes and a history-rich culture intertwine. From the colonial streets of São Luís to the fishing villages, the past and present coexist harmoniously. But among all its riches, one stands out as a unique phenomenon in the world: the lençóis maranhenses. Imagine a desert where white sand dunes stretch as far as the eye can see. However, unlike any other desert, this place contains the unthinkable. Among the dunes, crystalline lagoons emerge like blue mirrors under the scorching sun. This is one of the most impressive and surreal landscapes on this planet. Formed over thousands of years by the action of winds and tides, this ecosystem covers more than 1,500 square kilometers. It is an area larger than entire cities like Los Angeles or London. During the rainy season, the water accumulates, creating a labyrinth of turquoise and emerald-colored lagoons. It is a rare phenomenon that does not exist elsewhere in the world in this manner. While the Sahara impresses with infinite dunes, here the dunes dance with water. The landscape transforms with each season, offering a view that is always renewed and enchanting. The lençóis maranhenses possess a living and fragile beauty, which can only be admired during certain times of the year. It is one of the most beautiful proofs of nature's infinite creativity. Bahia is one of the most diverse and fascinating territories in Brazil, a place where nature manifests with extraordinary intensity. from the semi-arid regions of the interior to the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. Each landscape reveals a different facet. Ancient mountains, tropical forests, mangroves, coral reefs, and endless beaches coexist here. These lands house some of the most emblematic species of all South America. In the heart of the state emerges the Chapada Diamantina, one of Brazil's most impressive natural treasures. This sanctuary occupies thousands of square kilometers and is part of a mountain range shaped by geological forces. Its rocky walls, deep valleys, and elevated plateaus house unique and fascinating ecosystems. There, species adapted to conditions very different from those that dominate the tropical coast survive. The waterfalls that descend from its cliffs sometimes reach more than 300 meters in height. These waters feed crystalline rivers that meander between extremely ancient rock formations. In many corners of the Chapada, the landscape seems to have completely stopped in time. It is as if nature had decided to preserve a part of the continent's history intact. Further south, the Recanto de Corumbau represents another completely different side of the Bahia region. Here, isolated beaches, transparent waters, and extensive strips of pure white sand predominate. The rhythm of nature continues to mark the passing days in this little altered coastline. It is a refuge where seabirds, turtles, and tropical fish find ideal conditions to thrive. The name Corumbau comes from an indigenous expression meaning place far from everything. The feeling of isolation and tranquility turns this region into a unique coastal retreat. To the north, the Bahian coast reveals Salvador, a city known for its enormous historical wealth. However, it is also surrounded by impressive and vibrant natural diversity. Protected bays, mangroves, and small islands form an ecological mosaic for countless marine species. But it is further out at sea where one of the greatest natural spectacles of all Brazil occurs. About 70 kilometers from the coast is the Abrolhos Marine National Park. It is considered one of the most important and vital marine ecosystems in the South Atlantic. Its reefs house hundreds of species of fish, corals, mollusks, and sea turtles. Here lies the largest and most biodiverse coral bank in the entire South Atlantic Ocean. The waters of Abrolhos function as a gigantic marine nursery and safe zone for reproduction. Each year, between July and November, a much larger visitor becomes the protagonist. These are the humpback whales, known locally in Brazilian territory as jubartes. These giants perform one of the most impressive and longest migrations in the animal kingdom. Each year, they travel between 4,000 and 8,000 kilometers from Antarctica to the coast of Bahia. An adult can reach 16 meters in length and exceed 40 tons in weight. Their pectoral fins can measure up to a third of the total length of their colossal body. They are extraordinarily agile animals capable of performing leaps out of the water that defy logic. The warm waters of Bahia offer the perfect environment for these whales to mate. Here, females find safer conditions to give birth to their newborn calves. The calves are born measuring around 4 meters and weighing nearly a ton. During the first months of life, they depend completely on nutritious mother's milk. Their growth is so fast that they can increase dozens of kilograms in weight each day. Meanwhile, males compete for attention through physical displays and underwater songs. These songs are among the most complex sounds produced by any animal on Earth. Scientists know they play a fundamental role in the species' communication. Decades ago, humpback whales were on the verge of collapse due to commercial hunting. Thanks to international protection, thousands of specimens today return to Abrolhos every year. When a whale emerges next to its calf at dawn, it reveals the natural richness of Bahia. It is a territory where the land, the sea, and the sky meet in harmony. Bahia is a land of contrasts, of extraordinary biodiversity, and of incomparable beauty. Each landscape tells a story and reminds us why Brazil is an extraordinary country. Located on the triple border with Argentina and Paraguay, the Iguazu Falls are a wonder. They are considered one of the largest and most impressive natural monuments on the planet. From the Brazilian side, you find the most spectacular and privileged view of the entire set. This panorama allows one to contemplate the grandeur of the spectacle in all its imposing force. The falls arose from volcanic activities and the displacement of tectonic plates millennia ago. These forces created an enormous rift through which the voluminous Iguazu River runs today. There are 275 waterfalls spread over nearly 3 kilometers of total extension. Some reach 80 meters in height, forming a liquid wall that roars like thunder. The fall kicks up a constant mist, creating natural rainbows and a magical atmosphere. They are recognized as a UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site due to their exceptional value. The Iguazu Falls are a living demonstration of the Earth's internal force. It is the place where geology and nature meet to create an impressive landscape. Brazil has the privilege of offering this experience in all its magnificent magnitude. It is the perfect closure for a journey through the natural wonders of this nation. Pernambuco is a state where nature and history walk side by side, forming a fascinating landscape of the Brazilian northeast. Its lands are marked by ancient rock formations that support both the interior mountains and the exuberant coastline. Beneath this soil exist little-known riches, valuable minerals and underground reserves. But it is on the surface where Pernambuco exhibits its most impressive treasures to the world. In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean shines the archipelago of Fernando de Noronha, an ecological sanctuary considered a natural World Heritage Site. Here, dolphins, turtles, and crystalline waters are part of a mystical setting. On the coast, the charm continues in Porto de Galinhas, with its natural pools sculpted in coral reefs, Carneiro's Beach, with its white sand and transparent sea, is one of the most admired postcards of Brazil. The state of Piauí keeps landscapes that surprise and enchant with their singular beauty. Amidst the dry climate of the Sertão emerge canyons, perennial rivers, and impressive rock formations. Nature here shows itself as resilient, diverse, and surprisingly rich. The state houses the vegetation of the caatinga, which blooms even in the most arid periods of the hot land. The wide and clean sky of Piauí is an invitation to contemplation. The silence of its natural landscapes transmits a serene force that is hard to forget for any visitor. For its part, Santa Catarina is a state where nature is revealed in breathtaking landscapes, between beaches of clear waters and mountains covered by native forest. The contrast of settings enchants in every discovery. Araucaria forests, misty valleys, and green slopes form a natural mosaic that impresses with its diversity. High in the Sierra lies one of the greatest spectacles, the Serra do Rio do Rastro. The road meanders through the mountains, revealing viewpoints with impressive views of vertical walls. From above, the gaze reaches vast horizons where the highland meets the sea. Santa Catarina is living nature in its purest form, a state where green dominates and the air is fresh. It is a land that impresses with its strength and inspires with every small detail of the territory. Sergipe and Alagoas, two neighboring states in the northeast, share enchanting landscapes and immense rivers in Sergipe. Brazil's smallest state, the grandeur of nature is revealed in the impressive Jingo Canyon. There, the São Francisco River meanders between reddish rock walls, creating one of the most spectacular settings in the country. It is a masterpiece of erosion and time. In Alagoas, the waters of the São Francisco continue their journey to meet the sea among colourful cliffs and vibrant mangroves. Sergipe also reserves rock formations that indicate ancient processes of land elevation. These forces created plateaus, valleys, and rivers with waterfalls that cut the landscape with singular beauty. Sergipe and Alagoas demonstrate that you don't need to be large in area to be great in nature. On the other hand, Espírito Santo is a state where mountains seem to touch the sky. Monumental rock formations sculpt the landscape with the elegance and strength of granite. The Capixaba relief is marked by immense blocks of granite that rise abruptly from the earth. Many of these giants are part of the mountain belt known as the Sea of Hills. Among forests, trails, and springs, biodiversity thrives in the mild climate of the mountains. Espírito Santo still guards hidden treasures like coves and transparent waterfalls. Preservation areas protect rare species of the Atlantic forest in this state. It is a territory small in size, but giant in beauty and natural diversity. Brazil, with each of its states, reminds us that life manifests in infinite forms and colors. Espírito Santo is the perfect example of rock's endurance and the forest's vitality. Every corner of this nation is a piece of a giant puzzle of beauty and balance. We invite you to continue discovering the mysteries of Brazil with us. We follow now to the state of São Paulo, where nature reveals itself far beyond the large urban centers. In the interior arise trails, rivers, and waterfalls that surprise with their tranquility. On the coast, beaches surrounded by Atlantic forest and small bays like Ubatuba or Ilhabela turn this into a natural refuge. These coastal landscapes make São Paulo an unexpected sanctuary. Going down the map, we reach Paraná, where the green of the Serra do Mar rises high above the ocean. Here, one of the most intact patches of Atlantic forest in all of Brazil is preserved. Here you find the Pico Paraná, the highest point of the south with an altitude of more than 1,800 meters. From these heights, the silence and power of the jungle create an experience detached from the modern world. In Rio Grande do Sul, nature acquires new forms, such as deep canyons and araucaria forests. The landscape here transmits a majestic and serene beauty. The seasons change the colors and sounds of the landscape powerfully throughout the year. It is a land where human identity and nature are closely intertwined. From the far south, we travel to Rio Grande do Norte, where dunes touch the warm sea waters. Here, the arid land of the interior meets the tropical coast. Its beaches, cliffs, and lagoons make this state one of the most unique landscapes in the Northeast. It is a dance of contrasts between aridity and tropical abundance. In the middle of the mountains of the southeast arises Minas Gerais, a state where nature blends deeply with history. Waterfalls, caves, and ancient trails create a majestic setting. In Capitolio, rock walls stand over green water, creating impressive canyons. The lakes here reflect the sky like giant natural mirrors. We continue toward Tocantins, a young state, but one that contains extraordinary natural treasures. It houses the Jalapão region with vibrant golden dunes and crystalline springs. The transparent rivers and the plateaus that rise among the Cerrado savanna create an enchanting setting. The pristine nature here reveals a silent and seductive power. And finally, we reach Rio de Janeiro, where nature is seen as a perfect masterpiece, from the winding coastline to the forest-shadowed mountains. Every corner overwhelms the visitor. The Serra da Mantiqueira, hidden beaches and islands turn this state into a unique natural mosaic. Here, sea, mountain, and forest meet to create a powerful image. Brazil is not just an immense country, it is one of the great living treasures of the earth. In its more than 8.5 million square kilometers coexist the Amazon, the Cerrado, the Pantanal, the Atlantic forest, the Caatinga, and the Pampa. These 6 biomes sustain a natural wealth hard to compare. Here dwell about 15% to 20% of all known species on the planet, more than 1,900 species of birds, around 750 mammals, and thousands of species of fish. Reptiles and plants create this extraordinary network. Jaguars, macaws, pink dolphins, tapirs, and many others represent this vast diversity. Every creature, whether large or small, plays an essential role in the ecosystem's balance. But this greatness also brings responsibility. Brazil faces increasingly urgent challenges such as deforestation, fires, and river pollution. The disorderly expansion of cities and climate change pressure wildlife. When forests are fragmented, many species lose their food, shelter, and natural migration routes. The loss of a forest doesn't just mean the disappearance of trees. It means less clean water, less climatic balance, and fewer life opportunities for thousands of species. When a river becomes contaminated, it is not just the fish swimming in its waters that suffers. The birds, mammals, human communities, and the entire ecosystem depending on it also suffer. Therefore, protecting Brazil means protecting much more than beautiful landscapes. It means caring for water sources, conserving forests, and respecting wild animals. we must understand that every human action leaves a footprint. Nature is not an infinite resource, but a delicate web where when one link is broken, the entire system changes. This documentary was just a small window into an immense territory, full of beauty and natural strength. There are still many paths to travel and many intriguing stories to share. Knowing nature is the first step to valuing it, and valuing it is the first step to protecting it. We hope this journey has inspired you to look at the natural world with more wonder. If you like this journey, support this channel by leaving your like and subscribing to follow along. Write in the comments which place, biome, or animal you would like to see in the next documentary. Your support helps these stories reach more people and discover the importance of protecting wildlife. Together, we can spread the message of conservation. Brazil is pride, life, and responsibility. As long as there are voices willing to tell its wonders, this journey through nature will never end. Borneo, the third largest island on the planet, a territory covered by ancient, dense primary jungles, full of mystery. With a surface area of approximately 74.6 million hectares, this island stands as a gigantic green fortress in the heart of maritime Southeast Asia. Rainforests, high mountains, peat swamps, and tropical rivers intertwine to form a complex ecosystem. Between isolated mountains and vast swampy areas, every sound and every shadow can be a sign of life or the beginning of an end. The heat is constant, humidity dominates the air, and the vegetation forms a labyrinth that is almost impossible to cross. In the center of the island, the forested region known as the Heart of Borneo still extends over more than 22 million hectares. It is one of the last great blocks of equatorial jungle in Asia. In this world, more than 15,000 species of plants, hundreds of mammal species, and more than 600 species of birds share a space that is as abundant as it is implacable. Murky rivers flow through the deep jungle, carrying sediments, fallen branches, and stories accumulated over millennia. Here, survival depends not only on strength, but also on the ability to adapt and on patience. Beneath the forest canopy, sunlight rarely reaches the ground. The balance between hunting and finding shelter decides the fate of every living being. The sounds of the ancient jungle are not simple noises. They are warnings. Everything in this extreme environment imposes limits and challenges on the creatures that inhabit it. Borneo is a stage of biological resistance, where life has evolved under constant tension. And now we will enter that world, a place where every animal, From the giants that dominate the riverbanks to the silent phantoms of the canopy, carries its own strategy for survival. Welcome to Wild Borneo, hidden creatures in the most mysterious jungle. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to keep creating high-quality content. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts on the video and tell us where you're watching from so we can chat together. Let's begin. The island of Borneo is home to one of the most complex ecosystems on the planet. The humid tropical rainforest covers millions of hectares, fragmented by an intricate network of rivers, extensive peat swamps, mountainous forests, and coastal mangrove strips. Each habitat is connected to the others, forming a vast biological network where life functions continuously, from the humid soil to the highest canopy. The vegetation of this place is dominated by trees of the Dipterocarpaceae family, green giants capable of exceeding 60 meters in height. These ancient trees do not only form the great dome that covers the jungle, they also stabilize the soil, retain water, and provide fruits, cavities, and shelter for countless creatures. Beneath them exists a dense world of lianas, ferns, fungi, insects, and decomposing leaves, where nutrients are regenerated day after day. Borneo is considered one of the most important biodiversity hotspots in the world. Its forests are home to hundreds of species of mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and freshwater fish. High in the canopy, the Bornean orangutan moves slowly between the branches of centenarian trees. Along the jungle rivers, the proboscis monkey, the Bornean pygmy elephant, and the saltwater crocodile coexist in an environment that is as rich in food as it is full of dangers. In the darkness, the sunder-clouded leopard hunts in silence. The sun bear tears apart termite mounds with its curved claws, and the binturong discreetly follows the scent of ripe fruits among the high branches. On the slopes, the forest becomes more open, and the ground is covered by a thick layer of fallen leaves. Rivers transport sediments and nutrients, feeding life both under the water and on dry land. Each layer of the jungle fulfills its own function. The ground is the feeding zone for large mammals. The middle level belongs to civets, squirrels, snakes, and small primates. The upper canopy is the world of hornbills, Bornean gibbons, and species that disperse seeds. Contemplating this precise organization, one has the feeling that every layer of leaves, every river, and even the smallest creature carries the mark of the Creator. It is a living order that is as wonderful as it is fragile, in the face of which human beings must learn to act with respect. When venturing into the Borneo jungle, sometimes the greatest danger is not that which makes noise. It does not roar, it does not launch itself from a distance, nor does it leave tracks on the mud. It can be right before your eyes, coiled on a low branch, perfectly blended with the color of the leaves. In that green and dense world, a small curve that seems harmless can be the signal of an assassin lying in wait. It is the green pit viper, one of the most dangerous and difficult to detect creatures in the jungles of Borneo. The most disturbing thing about the green viper is its camouflage capability. The color of its body blends almost completely with the leaves, vines, and moss-covered branches. When it remains motionless on a low branch, it can disappear before the eyes of its prey. Its triangular head protrudes slightly. Its cold eyes observe every small movement, while its entire body remains silent, as if it were part of the foliage. A lizard, a tree frog, a chick, or a small mammal can pass by without knowing that death awaits just a few centimeters away. Unlike predators that must move without rest, the green viper chooses to save energy. It stays still, blends with the leaves, and waits for the prey to enter its attack radius on its own. When the time comes, the bite occurs at extreme speed. The venom penetrates the body of the prey and weakens it before it is devoured. The green viper usually appears on low branches, thickets, stream banks, and areas of high humidity. These are also places where many small creatures move, from frogs and large insects to different species of lizards. By controlling these prey populations, the viper contributes to maintaining the balance in the lower strata of the Bornean jungle. Although dangerous, the green viper does not attack without reason. Most of the time, it avoids conflict and only bites when hunting or when it feels threatened. Its true danger arises from the fact that humans and other species often do not perceive its presence. A green branch that seems harmless, a bush by the trail, or a low trunk near the ground can hide a predator waiting in silence. In the Borneo ecosystem, the green viper represents a very different form of power. It is not the strength of the elephant, nor the jaws of the crocodile, nor the intelligence of primates. It is the power of remaining hidden, of color turned into camouflage, and of a precise attack in a fleeting instant. Among the humid leaves of the ancient jungle, the green viper remains there, silent, patient, and almost invisible. It is a reminder that, in Borneo, danger does not always arrive with a roar or heavy footsteps. Sometimes, it is just a green curve on a branch, waiting in silence until everything is too late. Beneath the lowest strata of the Borneo jungle, the world appears completely different from the canopy that rises high above. There are no calls echoing in the distance, nor branches swaying under the light. There are only roots, rotting wood, dry leaves, and a damp ground covered with traces of life. It is precisely in that dark and wet labyrinth where an ancient hunter hides. It does not need to chase its prey, nor does it need to weave a web. It only needs to wait. It is the Borneo forest tarantula, a large spider that lives near the ground, patient and almost invisible among the leaf litter. A small forest mouse moves through the base of a tree, sniffing restlessly over the damp earth. It does not know that, right beside it, in a dark crevice under a decaying log, a body covered in sensory hairs has already detected every vibration of its footsteps. The tarantula does not need to see its prey clearly. It listens to the jungle with its entire body. The mouse approaches. It takes one more step. Then, in just an instant, a shadow with 8 legs emerges from its hiding place. The front legs catch the prey. The strong fangs sink into its body, and the venom enters the animal that still tries to resist. The struggle weakens. The muscles become paralyzed, and beneath the layer of dead leaves, the hunt ends almost without a sound. Tarantulas belong to the family Theraphosidae, a group of large spiders distributed in many tropical regions. They have 8 legs and a body divided into 2 main parts, the cephalothorax and the abdomen. Spiders are not insects, but arachnids, closer to scorpions and ticks than to flies, ants, or butterflies. Although their appearance causes fear in many people, most tarantulas do not actively attack human beings. Their venom is primarily used to overpower small prey, but in the lower world of the Borneo jungle, where everything happens in silence beneath the leaf litter, they are formidable predators. The tarantula's most extraordinary ability is detecting vibrations. Its body covered in sensory hairs allows it to perceive minute movements transmitted through the ground, dry leaves or logs. A cricket crossing a root, a jungle cockroach brushing against a dry leaf, a young lizard taking the wrong path, or a small mouse getting too close to its refuge can awaken its ambush instinct. Unlike many spiders that build webs, the tarantula usually hunts by waiting. It hides in burrows, under roots, or inside dark crevices. From that refuge, it remains almost motionless until the prey enters its attack radius. When the time comes, the jump is fast, direct, and so precise that the victim hardly has time to react. Its food includes large insects, jungle cockroaches, crickets, beetles, smaller spiders, young frogs, small lizards, and occasionally other tiny animals that get lost among the leaf layer. When attacking, it uses its fangs to hold the prey firmly, injects venom to immobilize it, and then begins digestion through enzymatic fluids. But the tarantula is not just a disturbing image under the forest floor. It is an important link in the ecosystem. By controlling the number of insects and other invertebrates, it helps prevent the lower layers of the jungle from losing their balance. The ambusher of today can become the target of another hunt tomorrow. Beneath the giant trees and the large creatures of Borneo, the tarantula represents a smaller, but no less brutal, world. It does not dominate by its size. It does not leave marked tracks in the mud, but in the humid leaf litter, it is a silent, precise, resistant hunter, and completely adapted to the darkness of the ancient jungle. And it only takes one small creature taking a false step. It only takes one vibration crossing the humid ground for that eight-legged hunter to wake up. In the Borneo jungle, danger is sometimes not in the heights or before your eyes. It is just beneath the layer of dead leaves, silent, patient, and waiting for the prey to pass by. Before the first light pierces the green roof of Borneo, a reddish silhouette moves silently among the high branches. There are no roars, no violent chases. Only silence, calculation, and an extraordinary memory that guides it through the green labyrinth. In that humid and ancient jungle, the orangutan is not just a resident of the canopy. It is like the living memory of the primordial forest, slow, silent, but loaded with experiences accumulated over years of survival. As the largest arboreal animal on the planet, the Bornean orangutan seems to have been born to belong to the world of the heights. Its long and powerful arms allow it to cross the spaces between branches. Each movement is not fast, but it is precise, efficient, and full of intention. In adult males, that strength is manifested in a body that can exceed 90 kilograms. The large facial pads on both sides of the face are signs of age, status, and territorial dominance. When its long call crosses the jungle, it is not just a form of communication. It is a declaration that this area of fruit trees already has an owner. But the orangutan's power does not reside in noise. Unlike many primates that live in groups, orangutans are largely solitary. Each individual silently covers a wide area of activity, remembering the location of fruit trees, water sources, and safe routes among the heights. in a jungle where food changes with the seasons, memory becomes a survival weapon. When the fruit season arrives, the orangutan can feed for hours in the canopy, selecting ripe fruits, tender leaves, bark, seeds, flowers, and sometimes insects. But when resources begin to become scarce, every cluster of fruit becomes a treasure. Then it must choose the shortest path, spend as little energy as possible, and rely on its experience to overcome the scarcity. The orangutan does not only remember, it also knows how to use tools. It can use branches to extract insects, reach honey, explore cavities in trees, or manipulate fruits that are difficult to eat. Sometimes, the jungle leaves become umbrellas, mattresses, or protection for its hands. These behaviors reveal a silent intelligence, formed by observation and learning. While it feeds, the orangutan also nourishes the jungle in a silent way. By eating fruits, it transports seeds over long distances and then deposits them in new areas of the forest. It thus helps the regeneration of the trees and the vital rhythm of the entire canopy. The life cycle of the orangutan is as slow as its way of moving. After about 8 months of gestation, the female usually gives birth to a single offspring. The little one clings tightly to its mother during the first years of life, learning to choose ripe fruits, break branches, build nests to sleep, recognize dangers, and remember roots. For the orangutan, childhood is a long process of learning. Each night, the orangutan builds a new nest by bending, breaking, and intertwining branches and leaves. It is a vital skill that demands dexterity, experience, and the ability to evaluate the firmness of each branch. But even a creature born to belong to the canopy can be forced to abandon its world. When the big trees are cut down, the green bridges that connect the jungle disappear. Known routes in the heights are interrupted. In front of a mother orangutan, only an expanse of open ground remains, hotter, brighter, and much more dangerous. She stops at the edge of the forest. On her back and against her chest, the offspring remains clinging to the dark red fur of its mother. Above, there are no longer branches to swing on. Below stretches the bare ground, where every crunch of dry leaves and every movement among the bushes can announce the presence of a predator. Then she begins to cross the open space. She does not move with haste, but she does move with tension. The offspring huddles against its mother's body, while she looks back again and again. It is only a few dozen meters, but it can become the most dangerous path of the day. On the ground, the orangutan is no longer the master of the canopy. It becomes slower, more visible, and more vulnerable than ever. That moment reveals that the loss of the forest does not mean just losing food or shelter. For the orangutan, it means that its map of memories has been torn apart. An ancient tree that disappears can be a bridge that will never be reconnected. A fragment of divided forest can force a mother and her offspring to enter a danger zone. Today, the Bornean orangutan faces a fragile future. Loss of jungle, forest fires, hunting, and human expansion have caused a serious decline in its populations. It depends on its structure, its rhythm, and its integrity, its resilient memory, its silent gaze, and its learning capacity are the survival strategy of one of the most intelligent creatures of Borneo. And when a reddish silhouette slowly disappears behind the leaves, we do not see just a primate looking for food. We see the soul of the ancient jungle that continues to move forward, slowly, patiently, and more fragile than ever. When the last light disappears from the Borneo canopy, the jungle enters a completely different rhythm of life. Diurnal species fall silent, while in the darkness, enormous eyes begin to open. Among the small branches, a creature so tiny it could fit in the palm of a hand remains motionless. It listens to every sound of the insects and every barely perceptible movement. It is the tarsier, the tiny hunter of the ancient Borneo jungle. The tarsier has a very small body, but its eyes are extraordinarily large compared to its size. Those eyes allow it to capture the weak light of the nocturnal forest, where even a faint glow can reveal the movement of a prey. Unlike many primates, the tarsier is a true hunter. Its diet consists mainly of insects, small lizards, spiders, and occasionally chicks or other small vertebrates. The tarsier's body is designed for precise jumps. Its long and powerful hind legs function like springs, allowing it to launch itself from one branch to another in an instant. When it detects a prey, it almost never chases it. It waits, calculates the distance, and then launches with a short, fast, and exact jump. Another strange characteristic of the tarsier is its head, capable of rotating widely. This allows it to observe its surroundings without moving its body. In the nocturnal jungle, immobility is an advantage. The less noise it makes, the more difficult it is to be detected, both by its prey and its predators. The most common image is a small shadow clinging to a branch, silent as if it were part of the forest. Although tiny, the tarsier plays an important role in the ecosystem. By hunting insects and other small animals, it helps control the populations of creatures active during the night. It is a predator of insects, but it can also become prey for snakes, owls, or larger carnivorous mammals. In that world, size does not decide everything. Precision, patience, and the ability to hide are the true keys to survival. The tarsier usually inhabits dense forests with many fine branches, low trunks, and thick vegetation. It depends on a calm environment, with enough insects and shelters to spend the day. When the jungle is fragmented, the small corridors the tarsier uses to hunt are also reduced. In the darkness of Borneo, the tarsier does not impress by its size or its strength. It represents another form of survival, small, silent, but extremely precise. Between the murmur of insects and the humidity that envelops the ancient jungle, its giant eyes continue to watch the night. They are proof that the smallest creatures carry within them some of the most extraordinary survival strategies. From afar, a heavy and regular sound echoes deep in the jungle. It is not the wind, nor a breaking branch. It is the powerful beating of the hornbill's wings, one of the most emblematic birds of the Borneo rainforest. The hornbill does not stand out only for its large size. It also stands out for its long beak and for the characteristic casque that crowns its head. When it crosses the canopy, its silhouette is almost impossible to confuse. It has wide wings, a robust body, a curved and powerful beak, and a flight that thunders among the trees. In that green and dense world, hornbills move between forest fragments. They connect fruit trees separated by long distances through constant and resistant flights. Borneo is home to several species of hornbills, including the rhinoceros hornbill. With its majestic appearance and its large casque, it has become a cultural and ecological symbol in many regions of the island. But behind that powerful beauty exists a much more important role. Hornbills are sowers of the sky. Their main food is fruits, especially large wild fruits that many small birds cannot swallow. After feeding, hornbills transport the seeds over long distances and deposit them in other areas of the jungle. Thanks to this, they help to disperse, regenerate, and connect the trees of the forest. A single flight of a hornbill can carry with it the future of many young trees that have not yet germinated. The hornbill's reproductive behavior is also one of the strangest in the bird world. When the nesting season arrives, the female enters a large cavity in a tree, usually in the trunk of an ancient specimen. Afterwards, the entrance to the nest is almost sealed with mud, droppings, and plant material. She leaves only a small opening so that the male can deliver food and maintain the whole family. That sacrifice makes hornbills deeply dependent on ancient trees. If the jungle loses the large trunks with natural cavities, they also lose their breeding sites. a forest can continue to look green, but if it lacks old trees, it will no longer be a suitable place. In the Borneo ecosystem, the call and the wing beat of the hornbill are signs of a still healthy jungle. Where hornbills continue to fly, large trees and green corridors wide enough still exist. They do not hunt with fangs or claws, nor do they dominate by force, but with every seed they transport, they silently build the future of the entire jungle. When a hornbill crosses the canopy, the sound of its wings echoes like an ancient drum among the primitive trees. It is not just the sound of a bird in motion. It is the sound of regeneration and of a jungle that still retains the capacity to heal itself. Human beings must allow it to have enough space to live. The Sunda clouded leopard is one of the most mysterious wild felines in Southeast Asia. Its fur is covered with large spots that look like dark clouds. This allows it to blend with the irregular light that filters under the canopy. In the dense environment of Borneo, that camouflage makes it a predator almost impossible to detect. Although it is not as large as a tiger, it is still one of the most powerful hunters on the island. Its compact body, its strong shoulders, and its long tail allow it to move with agility. It can move both on the ground and among the trees. In addition, it possesses extraordinarily long canines in relation to the size of its body. It is a lethal weapon in fast and sudden attacks. In the forests of Borneo, the Sunda clouded leopard usually hunts small and medium-sized animals. It seeks prey such as squirrels, birds, monkeys, and mouse deer that live near the lower strata. It does not depend on long chases, but on approaching in silence. It uses logs, thickets, and shadows to reduce the distance. When the prey discovers its presence, it is almost always too late. This feline is extremely difficult to observe in the wild. Much of what we know comes from camera traps, tracks, and studies conducted deep in the jungle. It lives in a solitary, discreet way and usually moves in moments of low light. Precisely that mystery makes it one of the most elusive wild symbols of Borneo. Up to the year 2026, the Sunda clouded leopard continues to face threats such as forest loss. As the great forests shrink, its hunting territories are divided. Every fragment of jungle that disappears reduces its chances of surviving. The Sunda clouded leopard does not dominate Borneo with roars, but with silence. In the ancient jungle, the most dangerous being is not always the largest. Sometimes it is a shadow that glides in the night and disappears into the deepest secrets. After the heavy beating of the hornbill's wings in the heights, attention returns to the ground. In the dim light under the canopy, a large animal advances slowly, alert and almost without making a sound. It is the sambar deer, the silent force of the ancient Borneo jungle. The sambar deer is one of the largest herbivores inhabiting the island's tropical forests. Its robust body, its strong legs, and its dark coat allow it to adapt to humid and muddy environments. It usually appears on the edges of the forest, near streams, rivers, or clearings. There it finds tender leaves, shoots, soft herbs, and fallen fruits. In Borneo, the sambar lives in a narrow world covered by vegetation. Every step demands caution. Its large ears turn to catch sounds. Its sensitive nose examines the wind, and its eyes watch for any strange movement among the trunks. For a large herbivore, detecting danger before it is too late is a vital condition. For predators, the sambar is an important piece of the food chain. But it is not defenseless prey. An adult can cross thickets, cross muddy areas, or disappear into the jungle in just a few moments. Males carry firm antlers used in the breeding season and also as a symbol of their silent strength. The sambar is usually most active at dawn or dusk. During the night, it moves when the temperature is milder. During the day, it hides in dense areas, rests under trees, or wallows in shallow mud. That layer of mud acts as natural protection against parasites of the humid tropical climate. Its role is not limited to being prey. By eating leaves, shoots, and fallen fruits, it helps shape the understory vegetation. By moving, it opens small paths that other species can use. By consuming wild fruits, it can also contribute to dispersing seeds. This favors the regeneration of trees on riverbanks and forest edges. But the forest edge spaces it depends on are very vulnerable. When the jungle is fragmented, its traditional routes are cut off and food decreases. Its power is in resistance and vigilance. Each track marked in the mud remembers that life continues with a slow, discreet, and deeply tenacious rhythm. After the silent shadow of the sunder-clouded leopard, the Borneo jungle reveals a creature just as unique. It is not huge like the grizzly bear, nor does it live among ice like the polar bear. It is the sun bear, the smallest bear in the world, a secret inhabitant of the tropical jungle. Its compact body, its short snout, and its low way of walking give it a distinct appearance among bears. But its most striking feature is on its chest, a yellow, orange, or cream spot, resembling a small sun on the black fur. No individual has an exactly identical mark. Each one seems like a signature that the jungle has engraved on its body. Although it is small, the sun bear is strong and agile. Its powerful legs and its long curved claws allow it to climb up trunks to look for fruits, honey, insects or shelter in Borneo, where food can be both on the ground and in the heights. Knowing how to climb is a vital advantage. Sometimes, its tenacity appears clearly while it feeds. On a rotten log, it drives its claws into the soft wood and destroys a termite nest hidden inside. In seconds, dirt, wood fragments, and insects jump everywhere. Then, its long tongue slides between the crevices to lick up termites and larvae. But a richer reward is usually on high, guided by the sweet smell of honey. The sun bear slowly climbs up a tree to a wild honeycomb. With its claws, it breaks the structure, and hundreds of bees surround it like a furious cloud. Even so, it does not retreat. Between buzzing and stings, it remains clinging to the trunk, putting its tongue into the honeycomb to reach the honey and the larvae. The sun bear does not survive only by force. Its true advantage is in flexibility, smell, and the ability to take advantage of almost everything the jungle offers. That varied diet allows it to resist the change of seasons. It also fulfills an important function in the forest by breaking rotten logs, excavating termite nests, or looking for fallen fruits. It stirs the soil and opens space for insects, fungi, and young plants. By eating fruits, it also helps to disperse seeds and renew the jungle. But it is rarely seen. Its signals are usually discreet: claw marks on a trunk, a destroyed termite mound, or a piece of rotten wood turned over on the humid ground. In the darkness of Borneo, the sun bear moves in silence, following the aroma of ripe fruits and honey. On its chest, that luminous mark continues to shine like a small tropical sun, smaller than other bears, but perfectly adapted. It represents the silent tenacity of life in the jungle. When the morning light slides over the murky rivers of Borneo, the riparian forest begins to move. On the low branches that extend above the water, silhouettes of light orange fur advance among the leaves. They jump from one branch to another and stop among exposed roots. From some point, a deep and strange sound echoes, like an echo born from the flooded forest itself. It is the proboscis monkey, one of Borneo's most unique endemic primates. The proboscis monkey lives closely linked to rivers, mangroves, peat swamps, and the strips of forest along the water. There, where the jungle and the river mix, it finds food, shelter, and escape routes when danger appears. Unlike the orangutan, which hides high in the canopy, the proboscis monkey usually moves through low branches near the water. There, the whole group can feed, rest, and watch the movements under the surface of the river. Its most striking feature is the long and soft nose of the adult males. That nose makes its face impossible to confuse with that of any other primate, but it is not just a strange feature to recognize it. This structure works like a resonance chamber, making the male's calls sound deeper and more powerful. In the riparian world, sound becomes an essential tool to alert, attract a mate, and affirm its position. Proboscis monkeys usually live in groups formed by an adult male, several females, and their offspring. Group bonds are maintained through vocalizations, physical contact, and long periods of joint rest. During the day, they feed on young leaves, green fruits, seeds, and sometimes flowers. Their specialized digestive system allows them to process large quantities of leaves. It is a resource that not all primates can take advantage of effectively, but life next to the river is never completely safe. Under the murky water, a saltwater crocodile can be hidden. Among the thickets on the bank, a reticulated python can also wait for its opportunity. Therefore, each displacement of the group requires vigilance. They observe the water's surface, listen for strange sounds, and maintain distance from areas that are too exposed. Even so, proboscis monkeys are surprising swimmers. When they need to cross a river or escape a threat, they can launch themselves from the branches into the water and swim strongly through the current. Their partially webbed fingers help them move better in the water, turning the river into both a barrier and a survival route. Few primates are so clearly adapted to an aquatic environment as the proboscis monkey. The young learn from very early on to live next to the river. They cling to their mothers. Observe how to choose safe branches, how to jump between logs, and how to react to alarm signals. In a world where a single slip can take them toward waters full of danger, the experience of the group becomes a decisive factor for survival. The proboscis monkey is not just a primate of strange appearance. It is a symbol of adaptation between the dense jungle and moving water. Its body, its behavior, and its social life have been shaped by the rivers that meander through Borneo. As long as the riparian forests exist, the deep call of the proboscis monkey will continue to echo at dawn, like an ancient sonic pulse of the flooded lands. Under the apparent tranquility of Borneo's rivers, there is always an almost invisible threat. The murky water hides all movement, and the rotten logs that float slowly can seem like just another part of the river. But sometimes they are actually a creature that waits in silence between the mud, the intertwined roots, and the gloomy banks. The saltwater crocodile appears as one of the oldest predators of the flooded lands. It is the largest reptile that still exists on Earth, an ambush killer almost perfectly designed to live in estuaries, swamps, and tropical waters. Its huge body, its skin as thick as armor, and its extremely powerful jaws make it a feared presence. It is feared by almost any creature that must come down to drink, cross the river, or look for food near the bank. The most terrifying thing about this predator is not in its speed, but in its patience. Most of the time, it only reveals its eyes and nostrils above the surface, almost motionless among the brown color of the sediment. From the outside, it looks like a log floating in silence with the current. But just one careless movement of the prey is enough for that calm to end in an instant. A female proboscis monkey firmly embraces her offspring and launches herself into the water to reach the other bank. It is a gesture that perhaps she has repeated many times in her life, a short jump between two fragments of riparian forest. But today, the river is not just an escape route. Just under the murky water, a predator is already waiting. The crocodile's eyes hardly move, following every vibration on the surface and every contact of the monkey's body with the current. Then, in a fraction of a second, the river explodes. The huge body emerges from the water with astonishing speed, and the jaws open in a fulminating ambush. For primates that live next to the river, such as proboscis monkeys or long-tailed macaques, a single wrong step toward the bank can seal their fate. In Borneo, the boundary between life and death is sometimes as thin as the layer of sediment that covers the river. In the riparian forests of Borneo, the saltwater crocodile occupies the place of apex predator. It can attack fish, water birds, reptiles, mammals, and any creature that gets too close to the water's edge. Its presence contributes to shaping the behavior of many other species. Proboscis monkeys must choose safer branches to sleep near the river. Deer, wild boars, and small mammals must stay alert every time they go down to drink. Even the calmest mudbanks can turn into deadly traps. The saltwater crocodile is not only powerful, it is also extraordinarily adapted to freshwater and brackish environments. It can live in deep river systems of the interior, but also move through estuaries and coastal areas. Thanks to that adaptation capacity, it forms an essential part of the aquatic ecosystems of Borneo, where the limits between jungle, mud, tides, and currents change constantly. Although it is fearsome, the crocodile is not a killer without purpose. It hunts to survive, and by controlling populations of weak, slow, or careless prey, it helps to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. In the wild world, predators like the crocodile are forces that prevent the river from falling into disorder. When the afternoon covers the surface of the water with shadows and the trees on the bank are reflected on the dark river, the saltwater crocodile returns to occupy its usual role. It only has to wait under the murky water, there where every form of life sooner or later will have to approach. And in Borneo, sometimes the greatest danger is not that which rushes from the forest, but that which remains hidden in silence right under our feet. Beneath the branches, where long-tailed macaques compete for food and launch alarm calls. The humid floor of Borneo also has creatures that move in silence. They glide along the muddy banks, flicker their forked tongues into the air, and read the jungle's scents as if following an invisible map. It is the Asian water monitor, an opportunistic reptile and patrolman of the muddy riverbanks. The Asian water monitor is one of the largest lizards in Southeast Asia. Its long, muscular, and resistant body, its tail as powerful as an oar, and its sharp claws allow it to move with agility. It can move on land, underwater, and also on low logs. In the river environment of Borneo, it seems to have been born to live on the border between two worlds, land and water. Unlike the saltwater crocodile, the fearsome ambusher hidden under the river's surface, the water monitor is an opportunist. It patrols the muddy banks, explores among the roots, and checks carcasses. It hunts small fish, crabs, bird eggs, insects, frogs, and sometimes weak or injured prey. With its tongue constantly flicking in and out, it collects scent particles from the air to detect food from afar. In the Borneo ecosystem, the water monitor acts as a silent cleaner by consuming carrion, decomposing eggs, or weakened animals. It helps clean the riparian environment. It limits the accumulation of remains in a warm and humid climate, in a jungle where decomposition occurs rapidly. Omnivores like the water monitor are an essential part of the natural cycle. The swimming capacity of this reptile is also extraordinary. When it feels threatened, it can launch itself into the water, powerfully move its long tail to cross the current, and disappear among the flooded roots. In a matter of seconds, a body that seemed heavy on the bank transforms into a flexible shadow under the river's surface. Although its appearance is fierce, the water monitor is not always an active hunter. Most of the time, it depends on patience and opportunity. An abandoned bird's nest, a stranded fish after the water recedes, or the body of a small animal washed ashore can become food. The water monitor is also part of the riverbank alert chain. Its presence can make water birds scream. Monkeys on the branches stand guard, or smaller creatures hide quickly. It does not occupy the top of power like the crocodile, but it is imposing enough that every small animal stays alert. When the first light touches the Borneo canopy, a sound rises from deep within the jungle. It is not the roar of a predator, nor the water hitting the riverbank. It is a series of sharp, long, and resonant songs that cross the ancient trunks as the first declaration of the new day. The owner of that voice is the Muller's Bornean gibbon, one of the great artists of the Rainforest heights. unlike the long-tailed macaques, noisy at the forest edges, or the proboscis monkeys that live near the water. Müller's gibbon belongs to the elevated world of the canopy. It moves between branches through powerful, fast, and precise swings. Its long arms allow it to cross the spaces between the crowns as if gravity were barely a fragile limit. In a few seconds, an individual can disappear from view, leaving behind only the trembling of the leaves and branches still in motion. Müller's Bornean gibbon usually lives in small family groups, formed by an adult couple and their offspring. The bonds between members are maintained through calls, mutual care, and joint movements through known routes in the canopy. In the morning, their songs echo to mark territory, communicate with the partner, and warn other groups not to get too close. In a jungle where sight is blocked by thousands of layers of leaves, sound becomes an invisible map of the territory. Its food consists mainly of ripe fruits, tender leaves, flowers, and sometimes small insects. By eating fruits and moving through wide areas of the forest, it contributes to dispersing seeds and helps maintain canopy regeneration. Each trip in search of food forms part of the jungle's life cycle. The trees bear fruit, the gibbons transport the seeds, and new young plants grow back under the light filtered through the leaves. But life in the heights demands absolute precision. A rotten branch, a miscalculated jump, or too wide a distance can become a danger. From a young age, the young gibbons must learn to cling to their mother's body, observe the group's routes, and gradually practice their first swings. Every movement that seems light is, in reality, the result of instinct, experience, and an extraordinary capacity to calculate space. Müller's Bornean gibbon is also very sensitive to forest fragmentation. It depends on a continuous canopy to move. When jungle fragments are separated by roads or plantations, their roots in the heights are also broken. For this species, an open space on the ground can become an invisible wall that separates territories, food, and mates. After the distant song of Müller's Bornean gibbon, the canopy falls silent again. But between the dense layers of green leaves, another colour begins to appear. It is a deep reddish-brown tone that glides silently through the branches and disappears among the shadows of the foliage. It is the maroon langur of Borneo, one of the characteristic primates of the island's tropical jungles. The red langur is not as noisy as the long-tailed macaque, nor does it have an appearance as strange as the proboscis monkey. It lives more discreetly, mainly in the trees. There, the high branches become paths, places of rest, and feeding zones. Its reddish-brown fur can stand out when light reaches it, but it also blends easily with the bark and dry leaves. This primate belongs to the group of folivorous monkeys. Its diet includes tender leaves, seeds, fruits, flowers, and other soft plant parts. To digest food so rich in fiber, its body needs a specialized digestive system. This functions as a natural fermentation chamber that allows it to break down plant parts that are difficult to process. The red langur usually lives in small groups, moving slowly through the canopy and dedicating much of its time to feeding, resting, and observing. In a jungle where danger can come from the clouded leopard or from a fall from high branches, prudence is a necessary instinct. The young follow their mothers closely. They learn to choose firm branches, recognize tender leaves, and respond to the group's alarm signals. The red langur's role in the Borneo jungle is not noisy, but it is constant. By feeding on leaves, seeds, and fruits, it participates in the energy flow of the canopy. By moving through different areas of the forest, it also helps connect jungle fragments. It becomes part of the silent rhythm that sustains life between the high branches. It is a fundamental link in Borneo's complex biological network. After the discreet reddish tone of the red langur, the Borneo jungle reveals another color that is more sober and difficult to distinguish. Between trunks covered with moss, high intertwined branches, and the weak light under the canopy, a grey shadow moves softly among the leaves. Without noise, without attracting attention, almost without leaving a trace, it is the grey leaf monkey, also known as the Bornean grey longa, a reserved inhabitant of the deep jungle. Unlike the long-tailed macaque, agile at the forest edges, or the proboscis monkey, visible next to the rivers, the grey langur lives in a much more silent way. It usually appears in dense forests, where the treetops form natural bridges over the ground. Its grey fur allows it to blend with the bark, shadows, and dim light, until almost disappearing when it remains motionless on a branch. The grey langur belongs to the group of folivorous primates. Its diet includes tender leaves, shoots, flowers, seeds, and some fruits. To live on fiber-rich foods, it needs a specialized digestive system, capable of slowly breaking down plant matter to extract energy from the leaves. Therefore, its rhythm of life is usually more paused, prudent, and of lower energy expenditure than that of other, more active primates. It moves in small groups, maintaining contact through brief calls, glances, and body movements. The young stay near their mothers during the first months, learning to choose tender leaves and maintain balance on fine branches. In the canopy world, a strange sound or a branch that vibrates unusually can be a warning. Although it is not a predator, the grey langur fulfills an important function in the ecosystem. By feeding on leaves, flowers, and fruits, it participates in the nutrient cycle of the canopy. The plant remains that fall during its meals feed insects, fungi, and small organisms in the soil. It thus connects the life of the heights with the humid, decomposing layer. Its survival depends on continuous forests. When the canopy is fragmented by logging, roads, or plantations, its roots are also broken. For a species used to living under the protection of the crowns, losing those green bridges means losing an essential part of its safety. In the deep jungle of Borneo, The grey langur does not need to stand out to be important. It is a quiet shadow among the trees, part of the slow and resilient rhythm of the tropical forest. If the orangutan represents ancient intelligence, the grey langur represents the silence of the deep jungle. It is discreet but indispensable in the great biological balance of Borneo. When the morning fog still covers the murky rivers of Borneo, the ground begins to tremble slightly. It is not the roar of a predator, nor a flood crossing the low forest. It is the footsteps of some quiet giants, the Bornean pygmy elephants, which emerge slowly among the trees. They leave behind deep tracks in the mud and broken young branches. In the humid tropical rainforest, the Bornean pygmy elephant is one of the island's most unique mammals. It is a subspecies of the Asian elephant, described by its somewhat smaller size. It possesses relatively large ears, a long tail, and a more peaceful temperament than that of other populations. Although called pygmy, it is still an imposing animal. It is capable of opening paths among the dense vegetation and modifying the forest with every step. Today, the majority of these elephants live in Sabah, in northeastern Borneo. They especially inhabit low forests, river valleys, and still connected ecological corridors. For them, the river is not just a water source. It is a travel route, a place to find minerals, and access to food zones. In the Kinabatangan Basin, seeing a herd is one of the most vivid images of Borneo. Pygmy elephants live in very close-knit family groups. The center of the herd is usually formed by adult females with experience, who guide the calves and the young. In such a closed jungle, memory works like a living map. They must remember seasonal water sources, areas with tender shoots, and mineral-rich puddles. Their diet includes grasses, young leaves, bark, and wild banana stems. Every day, an elephant can consume a large amount of food. That makes it a true architect of the lower forest by breaking branches, stepping on bushes, and opening paths. It allows light to reach the ground. This favors the growth of young plants and creates opportunities for many other species. They are also important seed dispersers. By eating forest fruits, they transport the seeds long distances through their digestive system. Then they deposit them in new places, regenerating the jungle silently. Despite their large size, these elephants do not dominate through aggression. They move calmly and communicate with deep sounds and trunk snorts. They emit vibrations that are difficult for humans to perceive. The calves remain protected in the center of the group. In the face of a threat, the adults can close ranks and form a living wall around the smallest ones. Until 2026, the Borneo elephant is still considered an endangered species. It has an estimated population of about 1,000 individuals in the wild, of which around 400 are breeding adults. Its main threats are forest loss. Habitat fragmentation, agricultural expansion, logging and mining cut off its ancient migration routes. When the forest is divided, elephants must cross human areas. Those encounters usually provoke conflicts, such as damaged crops or elephants chased and injured. For such a small population, losing only a few individuals affects its recovery capacity. Beneath the dense canopy of Borneo, water still flows through murky rivers and branches continue to tremble with the passage of primates. New seeds fall on the humid soil to start another life cycle. Borneo is not just a jungle. It is a complete world, where each tree, each stream, and each animal fulfills a function within the fragile order of nature. But that green fortress is no longer invulnerable. In more than 4 decades, Borneo has lost around 30% of its forest surface. The main causes are logging, fires, and the expansion of plantations. Logging roads open the way for machinery, hunting, and habitat fragmentation. When the forest is divided, the animals' roots are also broken. Hornbill nests disappear along with the ancient trees. Pygmy elephants, proboscis monkeys, and langurs lose life corridors used for generations. These changes are reflected in the fall of each species. The Bornean orangutan has decreased by more than 50% in about 60 years. Its habitat was reduced by at least 55% in only 20 years. The Borneo elephant has barely about 1,000 individuals in the wild, of which around 400 are breeding adults. For slow-breeding species, each individual lost is an erased memory. When the jungle is exploited without control, the soil ceases to be protected by the green cover. The heat dries the leaf litter and the water level drops in the peat forests. A single spark can turn the jungle into a sea of smoke. The fires release enormous amounts of greenhouse gases stored for thousands of years. Only the Indonesian peat fires in 1997 released between 0.81 and 2.57 billion tons of carbon into the atmosphere. Therefore, forest loss is related to global climate change. When the jungle remains intact, the trees absorb carbon, retain water, and cool the air. But when it is burned, that carbon returns to the atmosphere and accelerates the warming of the planet. the increase in temperature facilitates droughts and fires, and the fires again heat the climate even more. It is a dangerous cycle that affects both nature and human beings. Borneo teaches us that biodiversity is a living connection between each seed, each river, and each wing. If the orangutan disappears, the jungle loses an important seed disperser. If the pygmy elephant disappears, the natural clearings of the low forest become silent. If the hornbills decrease, many seeds will no longer reach distant areas of the forest. If those links are broken one after another, the jungle will stop functioning as it has for millions of years. In that so precise organization, the wonderful mark of the Creator can be felt. Every living being, large or small, fierce or silent, occupies its own place in the order of life. That turns Borneo into something more sacred than a common jungle. It reminds us that nature does not exist to be exploited until exhausted, but as a living system that must be respected. The message of Borneo is a natural lesson. To protect life. First, the place where life begins must be protected. Defending the jungle means protecting the water, the climate, and the future of thousands of species. Every decision of responsible consumption and every restored forest can help to stop that disappearance. While light continues to pierce the leaves, orangutans continue moving among the branches. Miller's gibbons continue singing at dawn. Hornbills cross the canopy, and beneath those green crowns, Borneo maintains its silent battle to survive. If you have felt the beauty and the strength of this trip, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell so as not to miss the next stories about wild nature. In places like Borneo, every creature protected today can be the key for the entire jungle to continue alive tomorrow. See you on the next trip.